And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Greg. I got a yellow shirt just like that.
Top of the day. Top of the day.
If you'd have texted me, we could have been
No, we
Quinn.
look like bananas. Or taxi cabs, one or the other.
I'm telling you, those shirts are the most comfortable thing that is made. I love those shirts.
Well, I like them because you can get them out of the dryer and put them on.
You got to iron them.
There ain't no ironing required.
I am not an ironer. I have to take everything somewhere to have it pressed. And my wife just quit. She will not iron for me anymore. And I've tried. I cannot do it. You know how you lay the sleeve and it's awful.
It usually looks worse when I get finished, but you know. It'll be all right.
Jeff Tate joining us from Tupelo there. Man, he's up there. Let's see here. We've got Joyce joining us. I saw some Long Creek in there.
Long Creek, Hickory.
Yeah, a lot of folks everywhere. Oh, we did have a shooting overnight.
No.
I thought I'd go ahead and scare you.
Seriously?
Seriously.
No, not Meridian.
I don't have all the details, but this is what we know so far. A person was transported by private car to a local hospital overnight with a gunshot wound that is not life-threatening. Now, I don't know the exact street that it happened on, but I do know that it did happen within the city limits of Meridian. As this develops, we'll get you more information on that. I want to say we're up to 4 shootings in the month of October. We have 12 deaths so far within the city limits of Meridian. We'll keep you up to date with this. Will that body that was found underneath the 23rd Avenue be considered a murder? We're waiting to see. Remember that when we stumbled upon that afternoon across underneath the home?
That's right.
What will that be? We haven't gotten any answers on that. I don't think the autopsy's back. Have mercy, have mercy. Our special guest, Supervisor, let's put a camera on it. Hey, there he is.
Good morning.
Good morning.
JJ joins us. JJ Anders, the newest elected official to the Board of Supervisors. How you like it so far?
I love it. 10 months and 29 days into a 4-year stretch. I'm absolutely enjoying this opportunity the citizens have given me. And Craig Houston's also the other newest one with me in District 2. But it has been a learning experience. And I just want to say before we get started, thank you guys for what y'all do. I've always said sunlight's the best disinfectant. Report it, ask the questions. Look, I've got nothing to hide. I'm doing this because I love it. And, you gave me the opportunity to be on the business board of this county, and I'm enjoying every second.
Now, and we will ask you several questions this morning. And there's a lot of questions we understand because you're new to this, that you probably didn't have a part of, but we want to get. And if anybody's got a question, feel free to put them in the comments.
Put it in the comment. But remember now, before y'all break out the tar and feathers, this guy inherited a lot of this stuff. He's only been there. It's his first term. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to barbecue yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
We're going to get the coals ready.
That's right. We're going to get the coals hot. But
maybe a little marinating.
He did inherit, and he walked into...
a bee's nest.
A bee's nest. Yeah, that's a good word.
Hornet's nest, maybe.
Hornet's nest, yeah.
It hurts.
But still, I mean, let's give credit where credit's due. He's only been there his first term, 10 months, 29 days. But
so we'll get into that in just a moment. I want to bring up, we did have some gunfire in the city as people were texting me last night. They sure were. Let's go to this first here. This would be in the 800 block of 26th Street, right over there. This is Highway 39. Just to the west of there is where that would be. And we had some more gunshots. Not to say that there wasn't more. This is the only ones that were sent to me last night. Grandview. Now, if you'll notice, we're seeing this more and more up around the country club area. An area that used to never would have had this. Grandview and 36th Street is where gunshots were reported. Now, no injuries, no damage anywhere in there, but still the same. Something went on up in there. No matter what it was, something happened there. So we thought we would let you know about that. We got a lot to talk about when it comes to the latest this morning of what we're finding out about John Culpepper.
Yeah.
Man, we're worried about that. And I know you know John.
Oh yeah, I grew up. I grew up in Briarwood Country Estates. He lived there with Lynn and John Dunn. sat right behind me at First Baptist Church every Sunday.
And it's
Great family, good people.
Somebody taken from our community for no reason is what that amounts to. Today is a week that happened. No arrest yet.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
They did find the truck, is my understanding.
Yeah.
And, but just
Sad
not good.
situation.
It's very sad. And it goes, trash is a big problem in our county.
Oh, yeah. People illegal
dumping, and that's exactly what this was.
What is it, a $50 fine for that?
Don't get me lying on that, but I do know it costs the county a lot of money when illegal dump sites are found and DEQ comes over and we have to clean that up. You're talking about spending a lot of your tax dollars. In the first 10 months, trash has been the number one call I've gotten.
Is it, would it be cheaper to hire a county employee to keep that garbage site open on Sundays?
You're talking about the roll-offs?
Yeah, where you can go and dump things. Is it cheaper to do that?
I don't think so.
No, we do have a county employee, Daniel Mabry, who's over solid waste. He's doing a really good job excellent job in trying to clean up these.
But we're open, if I'm not mistaken,
accountable.
Saturday to like 3 o'clock or something.
But the
Until they
guy,
get full.
the guy that's going to go down that dirt road and dumping that curve, he's going to do that. I don't care if it's Monday at dinner or Saturday or Sunday. That's what they're going. And a lot of people don't remember back years ago in this county when we had the green dumpsters and that kind of stuff.
I do.
And back then we had a lot of dirt roads. Every curve had a dump. I mean, that's just the facts of life, people. That's what people did. They went out, and a lot of people still got that mentality. If ain't nobody coming, I can dump right here. That can't happen. And like you're talking about, it costs so much. Now they liable to dump roofing material. They dump stuff that's you have to
and
clean
then you
up.
get refrigerators and freezers with the refrigerant in it, and then you got to drain that, and it's an environment. Then they make you come out and dig around it, and I mean, DEQ's a first world problem.
Oh yeah,
and it's not cheap.
No.
I want to say we've got, and I was trying to remember that there's a waste day coming up where you can take everything.
Yeah,
to the
Amnesty
Ag
Day's coming up Saturday.
This Saturday
at the Ag Center. So that's when you can take your tires, paint, anything. And again, that's Daniel Mabry setting that up at the Ag Center. So anybody that lives in Lauderdale County, it's a Lauderdale County resident, can take it out there and dump it.
All right, that's Saturday morning. I think it's something like beginning at 9 a.m. or along in there, 8 to 9 a.m. We'll get the information and get that out. We'll be right back as we'll get into some more questions as we start. What's going on in Lauderdale County? What's this expense for? We'll find out as we'll talk
Grill
to JJ.
smoking.
It's coming.
Man, feels good in here.
As the seasons change, so do your clothes. And Garrett Sports Center on 8th Street has exactly what you need. Haybo shirts, long and short sleeve. Also Hulk shirts. And America's favorite brand, Carhartt. Whether you need work pants or slacks for church. And nothing lasts like a pair of Carhartt overalls. Maybe it's a set of boots that you need to keep you dry in those wet conditions. And as hunting season rolls in, they have all the camouflage you need and toboggans to boot. Garrett Sports Center, 3505 8th Street, Meridian. The tractors are rolling at Freeman Tractor on Highway 494. Drop in and see Keith, Cornbread, or Buttermilk. They've got a tractor that fits the need that you have. Whether it's a 26 horsepower, a 40, or bigger. Plus, they offer 0% financing for up to 96 months. Whether it's a part, a new tractor, 0% financing, or just simply a laugh. 601-626-8759, Highway 494 in Collinsville. That's Freeman Tractor. Have you been wanting your own building, your own shed? Speak to our friends at Best Sadia Building, 601-728-1954. Now, they can custom build you a home from a barn dominium. Maybe it's a shed that you're needing or a simple place to park your car, a garage, a camp house. Maybe you need a place to park your tractor, your motorcycle, or even that lawnmower. They can custom design whatever it is you need. Quality work, trustworthy, Best Sadia Buildings. Speak with Drew, 601-728-1954. And welcome back. Your friend Scotty Ray, along with Greg, filling in for Odie this week, who is somewhere on an ocean somewhere. I got a video in the middle of the night of them on a glass elevator enjoying themselves. Not me, Bubba. As we mentioned a moment ago, we've got our supervisor, District 1, in with us, J.J. Anders, who's newly elected to this office for 10 months now, you said? Is that what it is?
10 months and, 28 days yesterday, and it started 29 today.
He's not counting.
As we go back on this, remind me of this. When you
Yes, sir.
ran,
Yes,
and the reason you ran, what'd you run on? What was your platform that you said that you were going to do?
Financial conservative. I was the nerd in middle school when Coach Bryan taught us government and, state history and everything. And I just fell in love with politics then, just how anybody can put themselves out there and say, I want to help. I think I bring something to the table. So fast forward through my career, ended up opening my own business, which was very successful thanks to everybody watching and listening this morning. Had the best customers in the world, but had an opportunity to sell that. And right when that was happening, Jonathan Wells was retiring from Supervisor, and he approached me, and we've talked, and some other people and I talked, and I was like, I asked the boss, Emily, and she said, "You've always wanted to do this, do it." And so I put myself out there, and I just cannot thank the people of District 1 for the opportunity to be their advocate on this board, and I'm trying to make the most of it and do what I can to make Lauderdale County better.
Well, let's go ahead and let's just jump into what every Lauderdale County says at a water cooler and sit at the call.
Absolutely.
Of what's going on. This courthouse that we've got.
Uh-huh.
Now, I forget what the original price they said it was, but I think we're somewhere by the time you total it all together, buying the furniture, planting the trees out front, we're somewhere around $68 million, correct?
My understanding is around $50 million.
I'm hearing north of that.
Okay.
And you may be right. But
I know that there was some money actually left in the bond that we didn't even use the whole bond.
Now, you didn't vote on it.
No, sir.
As of today, would you have voted? How would you have voted on that? Yes or no for that?
I like the location. I would have voted on a different layout.
I think most people we are. Our city has shrunk. Let's face this. When I got in radio years ago, we were 53,000 people within the city.
Right.
We are now somewhere 31, 32, roughly.
Right.
And I'm sure that the county numbers, I hadn't looked at the last census.
We're down about 8,500 from 2010 to 2020.
So we're not a growing county. Now, that doesn't mean that you give up. That's not where I'm
Amen.
going. But
No.
you have to be affordable on what you're doing.
Absolutely.
I do think that we could have done like most people, built a metal building and put a brick front on the front and saved the taxpayer tons of money. I walked through that courthouse and there ain't nothing square. You go down it and it's just like this. Am I right, Greg? Can you see it?
I'm not impressed with the craftsmanship, I'll be honest.
$80 million. And tell me, am I wrong? Or not 80 million, but let's call it 50.
But now that includes the sheriff's building too. That whole loan, my understanding is that bond was for the sheriff's department and for the courthouse.
What, how are we paying for that?
Through a bond.
Through a bond.
Yes,
And
sir. That was done back before, so they got the bond before they started building, or how how you do bonds, and so we've already been paying for that. That was in last year's budget or past 2 years. So as they've started taking money out of it, they've started paying for it. So that's why in 2020 was when the last time the board raised millage, and they raised it 4 mills. I think it was for that and a few other things is what was told to me.
when do we, let's just think about this. Had that school bond issue passed, plus this courthouse, where would the Lauderdale County taxpayer be at this point? I mean, that would have been...
Well, now, the school board, if you remember, the school board is their own taxing authority. So they can raise...
And they're tapped out.
They're maxed.
They're maxed. So, but...
I'm just saying there's a lot of money
There
being
is.
borrowed here, and somebody's got to pay for it.
Well, the best way to pay for it? Economic growth. And that's what I want. That is what I'm doing every day. I am trying to... I have been so pleasantly surprised and impressed with the amount of interest in our area, with the quality of companies that are looking at us today. Now, again, my litmus test is dry ink on a contract and money changing hands. People that know me know that I don't like to give anything away, and any economic development that will happen in our county, land will be purchased, not given. Because I think in business, you got to come from a position of strength and not weakness. Yes, we offer you all this. What are you going to offer us? What are you bringing to our area? What are you bringing to Lauderdale County in East Central Mississippi that's going to be sustainable for the next 20, 30, 40 years. Yes, we have sites. Yes, we have good schools. Yes, we have this, that, and the other going for us. But what are you going to bring to us? Jobs, salaries, investment, that kind of thing.
Am I right in saying the last investment we made flopped? The Hardy, what was the name of that? Hardy.
Handy Hardware.
Yeah, you can never know when a company's going to mismanage their finances.
So, but at the end of the day, the county ended up having to sell that building at a loss, did they not?
I believe the company did. I don't know if it was the county or not. I just don't know.
But the county donated a lot of money to make that happen.
I'm sure they did, yeah. But then again, that goes back to, some of the watchers this morning may have seen in the paper that notice to bond, which is legally what we had to do for the MDA loan. We are currently, have a economic prospect, or multiple actually, looking at our area, and so in any good business situation, what you want to do is get prepared early. One of my favorite sayings is, when did Noah build the ark?
Before the rain.
Before the rain. So if I'm looking at a business opportunity, I'm going to try to do everything I can on the front end, so when something happens, I'm ready to go and somebody's not waiting on me. So the Board of Supervisors and then the board acting as the economic board, along with the City of Meridian, has entered into something called a RETA agreement that has been posted in the paper and is all legal. But we have applied for an MDA loan up to $9 million that the city's going to split with us based on millage. So worst case scenario would be $5 million, 5 to 4. Best case, what it should be is probably 4.7, 4.3. I digress. But if something were to happen and an incentive for dirt work, for site prep, that company needed to come here, once a contract is signed, once they have purchased the land, then that agreement allows the county and the city under this agreement to reimburse them up to $9 million for site work. Now, that's not a blank check. He doesn't purchase from you and then we just give him a check. Their contractor will give them invoices. They'll submit that to us, and then we'll pay. We'll reimburse them up to that amount. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, we are not going to. Or let's say this. I can only speak for me. The other 4 gentlemen are doing a great job of it. I like the Board of Supervisors as it is. We've got a good group, different opinions, different backgrounds, but I can only speak for me.
All right,
I'm not going to give anything away.
Let's go back to the courthouse with this.
Sure.
When it was built, it was said that no new taxes would be associated with this. I guess if you get down technically to the letter, there is none.
Right.
But as we all see, and it's going to be a surprise for a lot of people that aren't aware of this, but land
Correct.
taxes are going up.
Correct.
Now, the millage plays into that.
Sure.
Could the Board of Supervisors cut that 20% back to where it would not have been a pay raise?
Well,
a cost.
Yeah. All right. So I'm not sure where the 20% came from. I know from the numbers I've seen, the average in the county is 9.6. Yes, there are some that are much higher. There are some that are 0. Everybody I've talked to until today has been between 3 and 16%. There are some that are higher, but every 4 years, the DOR, the Department of Revenue, requires all 82 counties to reassess their property. So
correct.
In theory, every year, 25% of the counties getting reassessed. And then in the update year, they have some statistical formula that Jackson comes out with. But this year, I know it was the first time in a while they incorporated the building costs, the increase that has happened in all the supply chain. But yes, I did not lower your taxes. We could have lowered millage. Yes, I could have.
That's my question.
But I could have also raised it, and I did not do that either.
I don't think anybody would have liked you if you didn't.
No, and I wouldn't have done that. But looking at it from a business standpoint, and that is what I am. I did not run for coroner, for sheriff, for tax collector, assessor, Chancellor Kirk, anything. I ran for the business board of Lauderdale County, and looking at the whole pie, and when you've got to make sure the jigsaw puzzle fits, it was not a good business move, in my opinion, to lower millage, and I'll own that.
And here's my thought on that.
Yeah.
If we all sat back and watched Shad White yesterday,
Absolutely.
there is not a shadow of a doubt in my head that there's waste in Lauderdale County that we couldn't have went in and trimmed instead of raising people's taxes and got rid of something because he named 13 agencies yesterday. How many millions of dollars in Mississippi is wasted? That the Board of Supervisors couldn't sit down and go, wait a minute, you're blowing money here. We're going to cut that out. And let me ask this as we're on that same subject.
Bring it.
Each year, they do. If you don't spend your amount of budget, then you don't get. Why can't we save that and put it in a savings account? Because it forces people to blow money toward the end of the year.
No, we do that. So, and say, I'm going to pick on Lima for a second. So if there's a line item in there that they haven't spent for whatever supply chain or whatever, it rolls over until the next year.
Now, I've always been told, and correct me if I'm wrong here, to where if you don't use it, then that's taken out of your budget the following year.
Absolutely not.
That's not true?
No, not that I saw. Now, this is my first budget. But, going back what you're saying, yes. So I'm looking at the whole county, myself and the other four gentlemen on the supervisors. Since 2020, since the last reassessment, we'll pick on Road and Bridge for a second. All right, so back in 2020, asphalt was $84.50 a ton.
It ain't that now.
No, it had gone up to a 50% increase at the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, up to $127. But now with Rush Mayat, we were very lucky to have him and Ryan Mosley in our road department, and their relationship with APAC, they negotiated. We tweaked the mix a little bit, and we're down to 109 a ton, which is still a 29% increase in 4 years. I mean, we have 302 bridges in our county. It just takes, the costs for everything have gone up. You've seen it, I'm sure, in your business. Greg, how much has your fireworks gone up cost-wise in the past? Just shipping costs. Shipping alone. So the challenge is, and I've said it forever, elections have consequences.
Yep.
Next Tuesday, go vote. Call your cousins, call your friends in other states, tell them to go vote. Because if we get somebody in office a week from today, or it won't be until January when they take office, that's going to open up our drilling, open up our oil reserves and our natural gas, and allow us to have cheaper fuel costs, that ripple effect through the entire economy is going to be outrageous, because you lower gas prices 75 cents, boom, everybody has more disposable income. But it also brings down food costs, transportation, building supplies, everything.
I've said it before and I say it again. Everything we touch, everything we consume, a truck moved it at some point.
Yes,
and now this part, I totally agree with you. If we can get fuel costs now, because like you were talking about, at one time it was $1.50, $2 a case to have stuff shipped.
Yeah.
This order, it's going to run between $7 and $8 a case.
All right, so what does that do to your end price?
That means you either had to eat it, or you got to market it. That's all you can do.
And that's why, we have to think. I'm not an isolationist, but we have to take care of our own backyard before we go into somebody else's.
That's right.
Who watches over, as Shad put out, as I go back to that question there, of spending to make sure that this stuff is to the letter?
Right now, Cheryl Polk. And she is sharp as a tack, and we get every audit we've passed that I'm aware of.
All right, let me ask this question. I'm told, I hadn't seen it in writing, what does it cost per month to the maintenance, as in cutting grass for the Sheriff's Department and for the city, for the new courthouse? How much is that bill a month?
That bill a month is,
I'm told, an astronomical amount.
I want to say the contract was, and I don't know exactly, but I'm going to say a little over, about 120.
So that's about $8,000 a month.
Yeah.
What in God's green earth could cost $8,000 to mow the grass and upkeep these two places? To me, I am talking major waste. Am I right, Greg?
Are we going for Southern Living, or are we going for feasibility?
That is, y'all think about that now. $8,000 a month to mow the freaking grass, and I shouldn't have used that word, but
I
don't know. There's flowers you got to water.
But they're also bush hogging that open field in front of it until we get ready to sell. No, I don't disagree, but I do know
that's wasteful. Beyond wasteful.
There's a story that I like to tell that I guess it was probably in February. Hadn't been in office 2 months, and we were discussing something, an option for something. And I said, well, dadgum, we just go over here and build a metal building. You can pour a concrete slab, but $200,000 or $300,000. They started laughing. They're like, you can't do anything in government because of the bidding process and the regulations. And so what that does, it limits who bids or which companies bid on things because of certain ways. You can do a lot. You can build it a lot cheaper privately than you can
I know
publicly.
a lot of companies, a lot of people that are in business,
Right.
and they won't bid. You know, I worked for the state for 29 years, and I would try to get people to set up where I could buy from. I mean, we don't want it ain't worth the hassle. You know what I mean? So you'd have certain people. That's all you could do.
Well, you know, and I say this again. You know, we can complain about anything. But I
don't see mine as a complaint.
No,
I'm
not saying necessarily complain or question things. But what I can say wholeheartedly is for the first 10 months and 28 plus days, everybody that I have seen with my eyes, I believe whether you agree with their decisions or not, are doing what they believe is right for Lauderdale County. I think they go to work.
Maybe their vision is wrong.
Well,
$8,000 a month mowing. Come on. Let me ask this. Let's talk about cleaning.
Yeah.
Let's talk about cleaning. I think there's 5 buildings included in this.
Yeah.
Now, these are the people that come by, wipe and sweep the floors, which I sometimes notice is not at the best it could be. Do you know how much that cost us?
Not off the top of my head.
$290-something thousand is what that's costing a year. You do the breakdown on that.
And they were the lowest bidder.
Yeah, the lowest bidder. This leads to my next question.
Sure.
Ward's not here, but other counties use inmates for this labor.
Yeah.
And that's drastic. That is a lot of money. And I understand that there may be some great things we get out of being accredited, but I'm adding $100,000 in cleaning. I'm adding $300,000 or $400,000 here. Come on.
Just my dumb redneck opinion here, and I'll just say it. As long as we're feeding somebody in that jail over there, we should never have to pay nobody to pick up garbage, cut grass, or mop a floor. That's Greg's opinion.
I don't disagree.
You can shoot the messenger if you want to, but that's Greg's opinion. And I realize not everybody that's incarcerated is eligible. You know, some of them you can't just turn out.
They'll run.
But you know, we've got some lesser offenses. Well, we're feeding and housing and clothing and medical for these people. And I've never been incarcerated, but I think I would rather go pick up garbage and sit in an 8x8 cell all day, or cut a little grass, or.
You would think that, but you know, according, we have a phenomenal sheriff's department. Have had one for years,
and we're not running it down.
No, absolutely not. But the trustees, you know, and I forget exactly the language Sheriff Calhoun told me, but you know, they just don't have the trustee workforce like they used to, and it's either they don't want to do it, or you know, they say you can't make me do that kind of stuff. And if
you'll cut them TVs off and get them microwaves out there, go down to Clark County and see how they do it.
I know.
They are happy to go clean the courthouse every day.
Bump that air up to about 82, 84 instead of 70.
Yeah,
that's just my dumb opinion.
No, I agree, but then they're going to end up suing you, and you know
they're going to sue anyway. We live in a world where you're going to be tied up in court. That's why we got lawyers.
And it's an ever evolving cycle that yes, it looks like it from that. I mean, but to make the jigsaw puzzle work is just.
I understand.
It all looks good on paper. And
it does.
And I'm not here to roast.
No, absolutely not. But these are legitimate questions. I mean, you know, one thing I've even said in budget meeting this year is, why don't we rip out all the trees and just put sod down? You know.
Oh, that'd make too much sense, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm.
We'll be right back. More to come. J&J Tire and Muffler, located at 3420 8th Street, invites you by. And if you need a front-end alignment, make sure to try their new state-of-the-art alignment machine. No matter the size of your truck and car, J&J can align it. J&J also has touch-free mounting, laser wheel balancing, and as always, they provide preventive maintenance, including CV axles, shocks, struts, brakes, with the largest selection of new and used tires, along with exhaust systems. Locally owned and operated since 1978 in Meridian.
When it comes to enhancing your outdoor experience, you need a companion that can keep up. The Kubota RTV 850 Sidekick at Parrish is your ultimate utility vehicle for every adventure. From the deer camp, trail riding, or just working on the farm, the Sidekick delivers powerful performance and versatility. These units start at $15,499 cash and have a $2,000 rebate. Financing is available as low as $285 a month.
Our local headlines are brought to you by the Rock House Gun and Pawn.
Patrick Allen Companies has a wide selection of garage doors that will fit your style, add value to your home, and add curb appeal to your neighborhood. Patrick Allen also has top-of-the-line, energy-efficient replacement windows that will make your home look great while saving you money. We're family-owned and operated, and we take pride in our work. 5305 Highway 145 South in Meridian.
For all your garage doors and replacement windows,
call Patrick Allen Companies. Safety, service, satisfaction.
Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. And the last thing I want to say on this is, and again, I know that this falls Sheriff's Department. I'm not blaming anybody. But if other counties in the state of Mississippi can use inmates to save money, I just don't see why we can't here. And I'll leave it at that. I know that's not your department, but it's a huge, huge budget, I think, that we're watching there.
And I know there's more, it entails more than I know.
Correct.
And that's why I said my opinion instead of this is a fact, because I don't know. I know some counties use them on the back of the garbage trucks. They actually, to offset costs, they pick up garbage. Now, I don't mean this ugly either, but I ain't too good to ride on the back of a garbage truck, especially if I was locked up.
That's right. Spending your time. There's a lot of questions on this that I don't know. Money is what it's costing. And where we are is we're getting, now there is rumor. Let me ask this.
Sure.
And again, it's rumor at this point that Lauderdale County could be getting a new business that would bring a lot of money in for taxes. I don't know whether it's going to go through or not.
You putting him on the spot.
No,
Now, the man doesn't say
I'm not asking you.
No. It's like I said earlier, I have been shocked and happily shocked at the amount of interest in our county.
So, but my point on this is, if this business does come, and there's a rumor that it will, that it would bring in a lot of revenue for this, will you, as a supervisor, once this happens, lower that millage to where the taxpayer would pay less because we would be making more money from a new company coming in? Would you vote to lower the millage to help the average Joe that lives in Lauderdale County to lower their taxes? Would you do that?
Absolutely.
How do we even? Because I don't want it to be this thing. Well, it didn't come up.
No. So what happens is when any new company comes, and it's over a certain investment, they can qualify for something called fee in lieu of. So when it's over $60 or $100 million of capital investment into an area, so instead of paying the full property tax, they can pay a percentage called fee in lieu of as an incentive for 10 years for them to come. So with that being said, is when the fee in lieu of happens, let's just say it's $3. That's what the fee in lieu of would be. The county would get $1. If it's in the city, they would get a third, which is $1, in whatever school district it is in. So there are some places in the city but are Lauderdale County School District. So depending on which side it is, either the city schools would get that other $1 or the county schools. And if it was just in the county, then it would be split evenly between the county schools and Lauderdale County. And that fee in lieu of money goes straight to the general fund. It's not attached to a certain millage. Like most taxes, whatever goes to whatever department or part of the budget because it's attached to a certain thing. So with that being said, when or if we get something and when that fee in lieu of money comes in, then yes, we will look at any and everything that we can to help the citizens of our county financially as far as their tax burdens. But just because if something gets announced this morning,
well, it doesn't mean the money's in the account.
It's going to be 4 or 5 years.
Three to 5 years.
The challenge is, let's say, man, we all get an early Christmas and there's some breaking news later today, which I'm not saying there's going to be, but let's just say, what if? It may not be till 4 or 5 years later before that first tax thing comes in. So the challenge is getting from today
to then,
living within our means, making some tough decisions like you were talking about earlier.
Right.
Again, I'll say it for the record. I have never raised your taxes. And it's true. I did not.
You have not.
But I did not lower them either because I didn't feel like it was the right business move. The challenge is, how do we still provide the services that the county citizens need in an ever-evolving climate of inflation without going back to our pockets.
But,
and
you know,
the only way you can do that is with economic growth and being smart about it and not just taking anything like you were talking about earlier. We can't just take any opportunity. We have
Correct.
to be from a position of strength, not weakness, and that's just
you
my
know,
belief. And then once we do that, it's got to be a good long-term partner, not just somebody sucking off the taxpayers.
Another
of the
Handy
county.
Hardware or Loblolly Industries, like we did all that work at Meridian, and it never
happened. did it?
happened.
And what is it about Meridian that just isn't attractive? We see North Mississippi.
No,
we see
we're
all of
attractive.
these.
No,
But we're
we're-
not getting it though. Is what I'm saying.
Well, you're right. We haven't got anything in a.
I mean, boy, look at the
25, 30 years.
manufacturing jobs that are going into North Mississippi. Where was the place that the governor talked about not long ago? That investment where the jobs are $100,000, average $94,000 per person at the plant.
I don't know.
Monroe County, Mississippi. Is that right?
I'm not sure about
That's
that. one.
Yeah.
East Mississippi,
It's
I
a
believe.
business that came here. The average one, it's great, but we're not getting those businesses here.
But
You're
why?
right. Well, that's an excellent question, and that's what for the first 10 months. That's what I've been working on. The good thing is, in all the conversations I've had, not once has anybody mentioned crime or schools or whatever. What they have mentioned is our rail, our interstate system, our geographic location.
Yes.
Our
runway. We
our
got
what?
one of
Yeah,
the
longest
longest runways in the
our
state.
medical facilities. That, oh my goodness, a town your size has 2 major medical facilities here. They really like that the Navy base is here. They really like that the Guard base is here. We have it's all the things that everybody has said at the water cooler. Everybody has said, just thinking about it. We have everything in the world going for us, and I truly
But
believe
we can't bring them in.
Well, we got a
close.
few people that's holding us back. I've heard that all my life. I heard my mama, my daddy, everybody always say there's a few folks here that don't want anything here because they don't want to have to pay their employees nothing, so they hold it. Now, how true it is, I don't know, but I've always been told that.
But I can tell you all this now. I can't speak for anything that happened before I got there in January. But I can tell you right now, there is somebody up there asking for the order, because you don't get the order unless you ask for it.
Oh, that is correct. The aluminum plant is what I was trying to. $94,000 average. Boy, it'd been nice to have gotten that.
Mm-hmm.
It'd been a change for us.
Right.
And we do want these. We
But
hope
then
more
again,
comes.
sometimes, and again, I'm going to go back to my personal business experience. Sometimes, even though something looks advantageous or looks like the right deal, sometimes you have to walk away from it. And, some of these opportunities, again, it's like I said earlier, I want to make sure we get the right opportunity and not just take
We're not
anything.
building another power plant or beef plant.
Well, my thing is,
come on, let's face it. We've got
my ideal company is something that's going to come here that we help incentivize to come to Lauderdale County. But then they're going to bring all these supplier companies with them,
like Mercedes
and
did
they support
for
absolutely
Tuscaloosa, Birmingham area. I mean,
but again, it's not being taken. It's not being desperate. It's being from a position of strength, and that's what I feel like we need to do. And I think that's what we are doing currently. I can't speak before me, but I think we are looking at opportunities that are going to have ripple effects throughout the county. It's not just going to affect one portion of the county or another. It's going to affect everybody, because I would love for something to go to D1, to District 1, but if it goes to District 5 or District 3, that's great.
It's still going to help.
It's going to help everybody. Absolutely.
Every district. I agree with that.
I mean,
you're number one. You're looking out for the district. You were elected it, but at
the same time,
the whole
if
county,
it's
you're
good
from
for the
Lauderdale County.
Daggum right.
That's right. I respect that. I do.
So I mean, again, we get in such a hurry to get things done. I'm a big believer in doing your due diligence, and let's make sure we're getting the right things, that we're talking to the right people, that so therefore in a few years we can look at other things to benefit our citizens.
We do need benefits.
You got to have a workforce.
Absolutely.
I mean, at the end of the day, you can't bring in something that requires people that
But
you
I'm
don't
gonna
have.
There's a guy I know. His name is Doc Hubner. And he is ready to go to help anybody that wants to come to our area. He will set up a workforce training. We have such an asset in MCC.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, go Eagles. But I'm telling you, he runs a phenomenal university over there, and we are lucky. And then on top of it, you've got our friends up in Scuba. You got our friends over in Decatur. You got our friends over in Livingston and down at Jones. I mean, we are set up in our region that if one is space limited or whatever, there's another one right there to help because it's going to benefit all of us.
Oh, yeah.
But the challenge is, again, I know we're all anxious. I know we're all chomping at the bit, but you have to make sure you have to do your homework.
That you don't build another power plant.
That's the best way to put
Basically.
it. Yeah,
Or
I'll say it.
beef plant. Yeah, I'll say it.
But and let's really get down to it. Greg. There's a lot of people made a lot of money off of that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, they cashed in on it.
Our great grandkids will still be paying for the power plant debacle.
Yes, sir.
And the beef plant debacle and the loblolly debacles. I mean, there's mistakes that have been made. But again, if you don't throw the ball, there ain't no chance of a completion.
That's right.
I mean, every once in a while, going to get intercepted.
You are. Yeah.
That's just the truth.
Oh, I get people thrown out at home plate all the time, coaching third.
But you got to try.
Oh, absolutely. I tell the mamas, look, I'm going to get your kid thrown out because we're going to be aggressive. But there's also being aggressive but being smart. You know, I mean.
Investing your money in a lottery ticket.
That's smart, isn't it?
We'll be right back.
With generations of refined expertise, she ensures your cherished pieces are meticulously cared for. Pettit Jewelers, Philadelphia.
The selection is always changing at Massey Supermart Auto Sales with low mileage cars and trucks. How about a 2022 Jeep Wrangler or a 2021 Honda Ridgeline Sport with only 40,000 miles? A GMC Denali or a 2024 Silverado 2500. Drop in today and find the car that you're looking for. They're packed with low mileage cars and trucks.
The low profit dealer, Massey Supermart.
For something as vital as your eyes, you should have your lenses and contacts made with the utmost care and precision. And that's what Grayson Optical does on 24th Avenue. Since 1996, Grayson Optical's mission has been to provide Meridian and surrounding areas with quality eye care products. That's why we're locally owned and operated. And don't forget, custom-made sunglasses like Costa for your eyes only. When you need to see clearly, Grayson Optical, 2021 24th Avenue, Meridian, 601-693-6374.
Meridian's favorite barbecue is Squealer's Barbecue, named the barbecue capital for the state of Mississippi. Whether it's barbecue, wings, or burgers, Squealer's simply has the best for a family environment. Every Thursday night, there's live music out on the porch. Takeout orders are welcome, and whether it's your next tailgate or large catering event, your friends at Squealer's are there to help. Drop in for lunch today or a night out on the town. Squealer's Barbecue, the best in fine barbecue.
Here we're back again.
It's already 7:45.
Yeah.
Man, time flies when you're having fun.
That guy's lost 15 pounds since he's been here.
No, man, this is fun. I love this.
Hey, I appreciate, honestly, all seriousness,
Yes.
I appreciate it. Because, I mean, it takes some gumption to come in here and put yourself out.
I got nothing to hide.
Hey, and I like that. To me, it speaks volumes.
It does.
Well, I mean, I told Scotty Ray that morning that we had the opportunity to do the Hunter's Safety Course.
That I was trying to put the Boy Scouts in for some reason.
Yeah, and I was like, man, anytime you want me, look, I just ask people, give me about 2 days' notice so I can figure out who's taking the kids to school. That's all I ask.
Hey, I commend you for coming in and talking.
And
again, like I said before, a lot of this is inherited. And it's not an easy job. So many people think that, oh, man, they meet twice a month. That's all. No, I mean, it's not.
It's the most full-time, part-time job you can have.
I dare to guess how many phone calls a day y'all get about that pothole or that root growing under the street. Or I know Rush and Ryan, I mean, they catch it. That tree looks like it's going to fall. And I learned so many, you don't ever tell nobody a tree ain't going to fall because it'll fall before you get back to the office.
That's right.
But anyhow, I commend you for coming in.
Well, thank you guys. But no, it's fun. It's interesting. You learn a lot. I was very lucky in the fact that District 1, Jonathan left me in great shape infrastructure-wise. The roads, the major thoroughfares had been paved. we still have some issues, but we were very fortunate in District 1.
Now, and let me ask this, because
Sure.
I know that, and I'm just going to be honest about this. I'm not making fun of anybody
Sure.
and not trying to run them down. As notices are posted, for the most part, they're put in newspapers,
Sure.
which
It's by statute.
yeah, it is statute. You can't control that. Is fading away. How do we get on this to be notified when something is put? Because nobody's knowing about it. People just don't read a newspaper anymore.
The statute says it has to be ran in the local paper, correct?
That is my understanding.
Okay, that's what
How do we-
what I thought.
How do we get these notices? Because people aren't finding out about what's going on. Because here's my next question: what's coming?
Bring it.
We all know that somebody's fisting one to jail, and the unreal amount of money to build a jail. I don't know what the cost is going to be, but it's going to be expensive.
It's going to be outrageous.
You could send them to Harvard cheaper than you can send them to jail.
How, and number one, what do we think it's going to cost? How are we going to pay for it? And then C, can we contract cheaper to house these like a Lost Gap prison? Is it cheaper to send them there than
Why don't
the
we
county
build a
owned?
wing out there? You already got a jail. They already got people. Why don't they just build a wing, send them, and we'll get out of the jail business and let them sue Lost Gap instead of Lauderdale County.
Yeah, what
That's just my
what can
dumb
you tell us
opinion.
about it?
Well, what I can tell you right now is, and I'm speaking for me, I can't speak for the whole board, I can only speak for me. Do we need to look at a new detention center? Absolutely. The question is, it's like anything else that I'm for, sportsplex, what have you, until we have a funding mechanism in place to pay for it. It's easy to say, well, we can bond it, but that's like a credit card. I don't want to max out my credit card for a detention center, because what happens if we have an economic opportunity and we've got to use that for that because the benefit
Anything
is worth
can
it.
happen.
The challenge is that building was built and it's getting close to costing, it cost us a ton of money to operate that building.
What is it average cost? $40 a day or so per prisoner? What is
something
it?
like that? But
Around that.
but more importantly, the AC units on top, they're original. That's a ticking time bomb. They're over 20 plus years old. So we're going to use some of our ARPA money that's left to work on those and hopefully get that, because we don't want to have to get out of the general budget. But the challenge is, the one thing that's going to fix everything is economic development. And that is what I'm focused on, because if we can get some economic development and then we can start getting that fee in lieu of money like I was talking about.
But I'm afraid, JJ, that it's going to come along to go, oh, we got to have the jail now, and we don't have a way to pay for it.
Well,
what will Lauderdale County do? How can we handle this?
We would have to, it depends on
bonds.
Well, bonds. I mean, it would depend
so
on.
So we would go in debt again.
It depends. Who's telling us we have to build one? So that's the whole thing. It's like being proactive on a bridge. And I know I'm not trying to switch gears on you, but if we identify a bridge or a big culvert that has to be replaced, if we can do the legwork beforehand as far as the easements, the right-of-ways, getting the materials ordered, that kind of stuff, then when we shut it down, it should only be shut down for 6 or 8 months.
Right.
But if the state of the feds come in, i.e. if somebody comes in on the jail and shuts us down, then you're talking 3 years. I mean, remember Lizelia out there? People at the ball fields were mad out there on Van Zyverton because they had to go around or whatever. But so we've got to go about it the right way, the smart way. But the challenge with anything is, with me, and I can only speak for me, I need a funding mechanism in place before I'm going to agree to vote for anything.
Now, again, it takes only 3 to pass something.
Correct.
That's right. This man's only 20% of the vote.
But here's another option. I mean, and it's been it's been loosely discussed. Let's just kind of in passing. What about a region? I mean, and I don't know how seriously it's been discussed, but what about a regional approach? Like
Clark, Jasper, Lauderdale, or whatever. Fill in the blank.
Potentially, and I don't know if that's even feasible. I don't know.
The problem you're going to run into, and I can remember when this jail was built, everybody agrees you got to have a jail, but nobody wants it in their yard. Kind of like the old green dumpsters.
Right.
We need them dumpsters. Don't
you
put them by my house.
But we already got one.
That's right. That's why I say, and I don't know the legalities. And again, this is Greg's opinion.
Yeah, and so that's why we have a great attorney keeping us straight.
You got one at Lost Gap. You got extra land out there. Put another wing on it. House them out there.
But
That people's already there.
I don't think we can do that from I think by law they've got to be within a certain radius of the courthouse, even though you can do a lot of things with Zoom and virtual, you know what I'm saying, with the cameras and all. Yeah. But I would.
But hold on there.
Yeah.
We got inmates being shipped from Meridian to Clark County, and they're brought back and forth every day for court.
We're burning up roads from Clark to Kemper hauling people. So what's the difference if they were at Lost?
I don't disagree.
And who can do a cost analysis on this of subbing this out to a state agency or somebody like that compared to what it's going to cost the taxpayer?
Yeah, we can contract. I mean, we could do a study on that. Absolutely.
Yeah. It wouldn't be one of those studies.
But you think you've got phone calls now?
Yeah.
You start talking about building a jail, and people don't know where they're going to build it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you go over to your neighbors and tie a few ribbons up. I seen the county out here.
But no, I think that all that stuff has to be worked out on the front end. But the main thing again for me is how we're going to pay for it, and
it's concerning all of us.
And then the challenge too is how big do you build it? What's the bed needs? I mean, is the bed size today what it was 15 years ago? What is it going to be 15 in the future? How do you project that?
But now, just again, the world according to Greg. You talking about the jail that we currently have?
Yeah,
well, I still remember that as the new jail.
Yeah, I do too.
And we talking about it's life.
20 years.
Why don't we maintain stuff and keep it up as it breaks, and then it never wears out? You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna have another abandoned building. You're gonna have a jail sitting downtown that's empty. When we build something, why don't we keep it up as we go? And again, that's like the old courthouse. For years, the grand jury would give their opinion about what needed to be done. We just walk off and leave something and go build a new one instead of maintaining stuff as it ought to be maintained. That's just my opinion.
No, I'm with you on that, Greg. We'll be right back. We got more coming up with JJ. He ain't getting out of here just yet.
I'm here all day.
We'll be right back.
When I was elected to the state Senate 9 years ago, my goal was to bring a new generation of conservative leadership to the Capitol to get things done. I'm Jennifer Branning, and I'm running for the Mississippi Supreme Court to do the same thing. I've written legislation to lower taxes and reduce regulations on farmers, manufacturers, and other businesses in Mississippi. On the Supreme Court, I'll use my experience and conservative values to always interpret the law, not to rewrite it or bend the rules for anyone.
Most everybody has been impacted by cancer in some sort of way. I personally witnessed it firsthand when my wife Casey battled breast cancer 4 years ago and won. So in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Kia Meridian would like to give back. We will be donating $100 per vehicle sold this month to the Baptist Cancer Center at Anderson's in Meridian. If you are in the market for a new or used vehicle, come by and see us to help out for a good cause. Your fight is our fight.
If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike Reed has years of experience dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, we'll travel. Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with, of course, Greg filling in for.
I was just taking a little nap.
I want to congratulate. I want to thank you for this.
What's that?
You went above and beyond. You've got a Bible study that you teach at Lamar School, y'all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't thank you enough for that. That's instilling where we need to go, which in the end, I really and truly think affects what we're talking about here. Cost of jails. It affects children at an early age and shows them the right path to go. So thank you above all for doing that.
Investing in the future.
Yes, sir. I had somebody send in, let me ask this, of volunteer fire departments.
Sure.
What's involved with some of these trucks that are 30 plus years old, and they're high. I know
they are. They've more than doubled in cost just for the truck, since 2020. And then you got to outfit them. Alan Dover and the men and women in the volunteer fire do a great job. We recently got a couple of new trucks in, and I went over and Alan showed them to me, and the rationale behind why we do certain things. Martin Nixon is a friend of mine. He's down there in
Good
Clark.
guy.
Yeah, good people. Now Landon's a little bit of a knucklehead, but he's coming. He's coming along. But and even from his perspective, why we were, doing things the way we're doing, it costs money. Everything just costs money. But the big thing with volunteer fire that I've learned is that if we don't maintain our fleet,
you lose your fire rating.
We lose our fire rating, and then you want to talk about everybody. We're the kick and stump. And I'll just go ahead and say it. I'm the kick and stump being on the board of supervisors. We're the low-hanging fruit, easy to attack. And I've got a lot of good insurance friends and a lot of good banker friends. How much has your insurance gone up in the past 4 years? How much has interest rates gone up in the past 4 years? It just costs more.
People don't realize what fire district they live in.
Exactly.
Their fire rating.
And just changing tires on a truck.
No.
And one of the things now that one of the questions is, we've got some water tankers, but we need more.
That's right.
And so talking with Alan and Mark and some other people, my question is, why couldn't we strategically position in the four corners, whether it one volunteer fire or potentially even
3 departments
at a
using the
high
same
school
tanker.
or something like that,
I agree.
and then have the extra ones where they could go north or south real quick.
Right.
But again, it's maximizing the resources we have, not thinking about what we don't have, but using the talents and abilities and the gifts we do have to make it better for everybody. And not, I'm never one that's going to say, poor me, I'm a half full kind of a guy. I want to say, let's make lemonade out of lemons. I was going to say something else, but I better say lemonades out of lemons. But yeah, that's just my mentality.
How often do we review contracts and things with the county of people that get these? Is that done pretty often?
When they're coming up. Once a contract is bid on and received, then it's theirs until it's time to resubmit it out for bids.
And again, before I say this, you've only started here now.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to put this out there. I'm not calling names or anything like that. Do you find it on the borderline? Let's say somebody worked for the county and a family member of theirs owns a business. It's not in their name, but say a family member is there and they win a contract. Is that maybe legal, but is that kind of shady?
So there's ethics that we have to do as far as the county. So, we have to, like, I know, for example, if I own more than 10% of a business, it cannot do business with the county.
Let's say it was in your wife's name.
That's right. She can't. She's my wife. Same thing. She can't. It's my family, but now if it's my wife, it gets real weird. But like if it's my wife's brother's wife, that's maybe fine. But if it's my brother's wife, she can't.
Right.
It's that gets above my head real quick.
There's lines drawn there,
There's
but it is very. But around here, it's hard to find somebody that somebody ain't kin to.
Well, but if you don't know them, you're kin to them. But the other thing that's true too is the challenge one of the challenges I've seen in the first 10 months is there's companies out here that can bid on things, and I've asked friends of mine that own these companies. Why don't
They
you
don't want to bid on
We're
it.
not messing with the government. It's too much paperwork, too much hassle. It's not worth the hassle for me to do it because of all the red tape. And so you lose stuff that way. That's why the expenses go up, because the people that are going to do it are bidding more because they know they have a pretty good chance of getting things.
Because they know they're going to be but one or two of them, like state contract. I can remember I would have to go buy whatever, paper products or light bulbs or whatever, and it had to be on state contract.
Right.
I could have went local and bought it a lot cheaper. I could have walked in Southern Pike and got what I needed. But
man, what a great business partner.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what? Oh, it's got to be on state contract. You got, and then you got to wait 3 weeks from Sunday to get something because they got to ship it. Like I remember specifically batteries. You needed a battery for a truck. They come out of somewhere in Jackson.
Well, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm used to the speed of, being in my own business. I need it. Let's make it happen.
That's right.
Now it's let's hurry up and wait. And that's not necessarily always bad, but the wheels are slow to move sometimes.
It's July. We need to get that de-icer ordered.
Right. For next year.
Let me ask this, and then we'll go to commercials, and we got some more small questions.
Sure.
I'm hearing, and tell me if it's true, that we're already out of room in this new courthouse, and we may have to build something else to add more people. Is that true, or is that just talk?
Well, it depends on, I mean, give me specifics.
I don't have specifics.
No,
I'm just saying that it's out of room, and there's not any more office space, and we may have to have an annex to house more people.
No,
that's not true?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge. I know that, when we were looking at the circuit clerk space, we were talking about some different options, but no, I'm not building any new buildings anytime soon.
Okay. I didn't know that. That was just something that floated across to me.
No, and we still have the old courthouse. I mean, the county owns a lot of buildings.
But the courthouse, and let's talk about that a second since you brought that up.
Sure.
It still exists. I know there was a lot of talk, well, we got to do repairs. We still got to do repairs to it.
Yeah.
So why didn't we fix what we had and maybe build a smaller building and not have $50+ million in debt, folks?
This man inherited this problem. Now remember, he didn't vote to build nothing.
But I will say,
But do you see my point on that?
I mean, I can see how.
If we were tearing it down, it wasn't going to cost us anything.
Yeah.
But that building still exists, folks. We're still paying for the air conditioning.
I don't know the
repairs.
legalities, but I was told if it's on that National Historical Register deal, that when you do that, you agree to keep it to a certain state of repair or whatever.
Right. It's just, these questions come up, and I'm
And
very
if you're going to
curious.
build a new jail, what you going to do with the old jail?
Well, we're going to sell it.
There's a big market for a new jail.
No, it's the geography. It's the location. Once we get out of the annex building, it's my intent to sell that. It's my intent to, we are not in the real estate business as a county. We want to turn things in to make them income producing properties in the sense of property tax, not only for the city, but for the county.
I agree.
And, yes, sometimes you have to buy and develop land in order to get something else. But yes, we don't need to sit and let buildings get dilapidated or anything like that.
We got too many abandoned buildings now.
Yeah.
Something else I would love to see, and this has got more to do with the city, but all these abandoned buildings, whoever's paying the taxes or whoever it's deeded to, they should be given 24 months, and if they have not done something, tear it down. The property becomes property of the county or the city or something. Because, it's an eyesore all through the city of places that people just let run down.
Well, and I wonder about that, and I don't know anything for certain, but I wonder.
And again, I'm just talking.
No, I'm just saying, did so-and-so's grandmama pass away? He lives in Seattle, or she lives in, California.
Right.
They inherit the property. They get a tax bill once a year. They pay it and just don't think anything about it.
They could care less
They
what
could
it
care
looks
less.
like.
But I think, just again, me speaking, a possible solution to that is once it gets to a certain point, the city tears it down and puts a lien on the property. So if they ever sell it, they get paid back plus interest.
I totally agree.
That's just, again, you got to take pride in your property. It's about a personal thing,
And this is not your fault.
No.
And let me say, have y'all just driven around lately and looked at the amount of people who quit mowing grass of gas stations and businesses?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Mm-hmm.
I've done some filming for that little opening, and I had to change it because it looks so bad. Use a weed eater, folks. That's what I'm gonna say. We'll be right back. More coming up with JJ. Let's face it, accidents are going to happen. If a deer jumps out in front of your car, go see my friends and professionals at Chet's Paint and Body Shop in Center Hill. Chet can help you navigate through this confusing world of insurance by providing photo estimates to insurance companies and the right to choose the body shop of your choice. From a minor scratch to a major collision, Chet has you covered. Chet offers quality repairs by trained and certified technicians with a lifetime warranty on all repairs. That's Chet's Paint and Body Shop.
Looking for a deal you can't pass up? Right now, drive off in a quality used car for just $299 down and only $299 a month here at Johnson Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Meridian. That's right, good reliable cars packed with features at a price you'll love. $299 down, $299 a month. Look, I'm not kidding. This is a real offer that our customers have taken advantage of for years now. Come see us today, Johnson Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Meridian.
Philadelphia Gun and Pawn, located at 910 Posey Avenue, has tons of lawnmowers to choose from. A big selection of zero-turn lawnmowers, power washers, and even barbecue grills. Step inside the store and see their complete line of Liberty safes along with those Browning safes. A large selection of Louis Vuitton purses along with satin shirts and bead sets. And tons to choose from for the outdoorsman in your household. And always a great deal on any type of jewelry you're looking for. And a private lobby for pawns for your confidentiality. Philadelphia Gun and Pawn. Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Greg this morning. What an interesting day
it's been a good one.
Living the dream.
It has been. We, of course, in with us our District 1 Supervisor. And we can't thank you enough for coming in and talking with us today.
I commend you. Hats off. Awesome. And
I'm available anytime y'all want.
We've not been ugly. We just been.
I had a feisty redhead in here a few months ago. The coroner. Of course, everything is different from where this started, where we had years ago was in with Metro. It's not that way after Clayton retired. It's separated now, Metro, from the coroner's office. Has she gotten an office yet? And if not, will it happen? Where is it? What do we know about it?
Well, right now she is operating out of the Sheriff's Department. They had space in their building that Sheriff Calhoun was gracious to let her have.
Is she hard to get along with, you think? Is that what this is, y'all? Y'all think?
I can't speak. Stella's been nothing but nice to me. Stella's like myself, 10 months and 20. This is her 10-month and 29th day to be in office. So we're learning together. She's doing her job from all accounts. I'm hearing she's doing a great job. Hindsight's always 20/20. When Metro was started, Mr. Cobbler took it over.
Right.
Because it's a self-funding apparatus of the county. It's quasi-county. We only hire and fire the director of Metro. We don't have anything to do with day-to-day operations of that. But the cooler was there. We are, to my understanding, we are looking for a solution that's long-term. And it's not going to happen overnight. But it's got to make sense not only for the office holder, but it's got to make sense for the office long-term of the office and for the citizens of Lauderdale County. So with that being said, it's a challenge to find the right fit in a short amount of time. But if that makes sense, what I'm saying.
But you also point out we got a lot of property that the county already owns.
We got buildings everywhere.
Yeah.
And maybe something needs to be refurbished or something to save money. I don't know the answer. But she is with the courthouse.
But no, for all intents and purposes, I think she's doing a great job, and I'm proud of her, and for sticking her name out there and going through that race. There's a lot of competitors, and
that thing had some people in it.
Yeah.
She's doing a great job, and she's a good person.
Oh yeah,
she is a good, and she got a job that
I wouldn't want.
I was trying to figure out how to say that. It takes a special kind of person
with sprinkles on top.
That job.
Well, that's to do any job. It's
but she does. She does a great job. Hope she can get everything worked out with a vehicle and an office and.
Well, see, and that's what I tell people. The Lord bless us all of us with different talents and abilities, and that's why some people are in law enforcement, some people are in Lima or Metro or Coroner or whatever. I've always enjoyed business, and that's what I enjoyed talking about, looking at, and figuring out how to get the most out of it. And that's why I ran for this opportunity, and I'm very thankful every day for it. But, the people that are looking at my job is to look at the overview, and their job is to look at what they do on a day-to-day basis, which I'm thankful for everybody in the county doing their jobs.
It's been definitely an interesting morning. We can't thank you enough for coming in and being with us. We've run a little bit over, and I know you got things that you've got to do. As always, how does somebody who's in your district reach you? How do they get in touch with you and go, call me? Here's my office number.
Sure, I'm getting that right now because I do not know it off the top of my head.
It's a burner phone. You'll throw it out the window on the way home. Yeah, I hope I don't.
So my county cell phone number that you are more than welcome to call at any time, and I will return. I tell people that I'll call you back after I drop boys off at school and up until about 4:30 or 5 because that's when it's family time.
That's right.
But my cell number is 601-938-1594. 601-938-1594. And if I can't help you, what I like doing is I tell people this all the time. They'll call me about a culvert or this, that, and the other. I'm like, well, look,
cat in a tree.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now I'll do that I'll do that anytime. But legally, I can't direct anybody to do anything. I'm your advocate. So if you feel like you need,
you're gonna turn
a
it
culvert,
over the road,
right?
bridge,
and I'm like, you text me basically a synopsis of what we just talked about. That way, you got a timestamp and a date when you send it to me. I'm immediately going to forward it to the road department or to whomever it needs to go to. And then that way I've got a timestamp of when I did what I told you I was going to do.
And if it's not addressed in a timely manner,
you
then
call me back.
you start backtracking.
But that is the thing. There are things we can do as a county, and we want to do nothing more than help people when we can. But there's sometimes where we have to say, unfortunately, Mr. and Miss So-and-so, we can't do that, and here's why. And because there's a gentleman over in Jackson who released a report yesterday that is never going to come see me for doing something illegal. The shadow attack is not going to come after me.
And that was.
And you can't do anything
that's
for
right.
one person that you couldn't do for everybody.
And like one of the biggest things that since we're talking about this, and I've had 3 or 4 conversations already about this, we've got to replace a culvert for whatever reason. But it's a concrete driveway. We can dig it up. And
but can't pour the
concrete because we didn't pour the concrete to begin with.
Right.
And so,
well, you're not going to tear my driveway up, but I want my culvert replaced.
I mean, and it's, but the thing is like you said, 20 or 30 years ago or however long, when people would do things that, that when not everybody had a video camera with them.
Yeah.
The thing for me is consistency.
Yep.
If you're consistent,
you got nothing to hide.
You got nothing to hide.
That's right.
That's why I'm happy to be here anytime.
One last question here.
Sure.
This may be something that you don't even know. I'm not sure who handles this. But there's often rumors about the school systems in Lauderdale County. Is there a chance that we could see consolidation at some point of building maybe just 2 schools for the entire county?
That is an excellent question for the Lauderdale County School Board.
And I said you may not know that.
That is, I have nothing to do with water. I have nothing to do with power. I have nothing to do with the school systems. And so, not that I don't.
What me and Greg are trying to do is figure out where to go buy land. So,
speculate.
We're trying to get some speculation.
The challenge is that with infrastructure. I mean, it goes back to infrastructure. I mean, you look at our schools. We have great county schools. Always have. I mean, but if you consolidate, how would you do that?
Be a lot of bus riding.
Well, you probably only consolidate the high school, leave the other campuses. But I mean, I'm just speculating here.
Yeah.
But my question is, who's going to tell the people at X or Y school that y'all aren't rivals anymore? Your teammates.
It would be tough.
Hey, we've been down this road. I'm from Clarkdale, and we've had our battles with schools and all that. But,
if you're going to do that, make sure you've already bought where you're going to move first, because you're going to have to leave town pretty quick, I bet.
Ooh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will.
And again, I know that is not you.
No, that's not. I have, but
constantly.
honestly, I haven't heard anything about that.
Okay.
I've not. I know that the only thing I've heard about is like everybody else with the center, the tech center. So, but
thank goodness we didn't get that as our tax. That's what I got to say. We're going to come to a close now.
Thank you.
You've been great. We appreciate it. We'll have you back again.
Anytime.
All right. Again, we appreciate everybody joining us this morning. We'll be back tomorrow morning beginning at 6:30. We're going to be out all day today, letting you know what happens in our community. Good, bad, ugly, however it falls, we'll be there to tell you about it. Greg, anything you need to say before we
y'all
leave?
have a wonderful day. Remember, we love you. Y'all, slow down. Take your time. Be nice to somebody. Let's make a difference.
And always remember, we're only here for one reason only. Good Lord above has blessed us beyond.
Amen.
And through him, you are with us. It's all for a reason. Thank you so much. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow.